Hey, Grace Point, Pastor Jimmy here with a quick COVID update. Last weekend, I shared a quote from Justice Gorsuch regarding a certain ruling that came from his concurring opinion on the application from two different churches who were asking for injunctive relief against the governor of New York, who was attempting to put a limit on how many people could attend church. I'd like to share a short paragraph from that same concurrence because I think it really captures our heart here at Grace Point. He said this, and I quote, "People may gather inside for extended periods in bus stations and airports, in laundromats and banks, in hardware stores and liquor shops. No apparent reason exists why people may not gather, subject to identical restrictions in churches or synagogues, especially when religious institutions may have made plain that they stand ready, able, and willing to follow all the safety precautions required of essential businesses and perhaps more besides. The only explanation for treating religious places differently seems to be a judgment that what happens there just isn't as essential as what happens in secular spaces." I tend to agree with Justice Gorsuch. There are times when it seems as if the faith community is not viewed as essential. At Grace Point, we are ready and willing to not only do the right thing, but to go beyond our part to help stop the spread of COVID. That's why we will continue to enforce all PPE protocols. But the Hebrew writer said this in chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. He said, "Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near." Jesus said this in Matthew chapter 22, verse 37 and following. He said, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second is equally important." He said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." You see, church, it's not about taking sides. It's about coming together and doing what's right. We have the right to gather, and we have the responsibility to love one another. With that said, starting this weekend, our doors are open and all are welcome, as long as you love your neighbor by wearing a mask, sanitizing your hands, and social distancing when appropriate. Like you, I look forward to the day when we are no longer encumbered by things like masks and distance. And know this, I miss your face. I miss your smile. I miss your hug, and I'm confident that the day is coming when we can get back to interacting with each other that way again. Be strong, church. Have courage. Continue to pray, and we will see you on Sunday. God bless.